welcome to my channel. I'm Alex. For those of you who have not seen my first YouTube videos several months ago, I've kind of taken a bit of a hiatus from YouTube. I created this look. It's sort of inspired by my birthday look. If you follow me on Instagram, I did something similar but with a nude lip. I thought I would jazz it up since it's fall with something fun and fresh on my lips. And yeah, if you want to see how I got this look, please keep watching. So to start, I've already filled in my eyebrows off camera. I use my ANASTASIA brows in blonde, and I use the Glossier gel also in blonde. So to start my eyes, I always like to prime. I like to use less of a heavy primer. I prefer to use whatever foundation I'm going to use for my face, just because I find that it then blends into my face and I like a lighter base for my eyes. So I'm going to go in with the Luminous Silk Foundation by Armani. I'm just going to put a tiny bit on the back of my hand. So I'm going to go in with my damp beauty blender. Just put a little bit of the foundation on it and just lightly tap and blend that onto my eyelid. Just like good to get something on there, just to create a more tacky base to even out any discoloration or redness that you may have on your eyelid. And the reason I'm even starting with eyes is because when I'm going out at night, or even when I'm doing a client's makeup, I always like to start with the eyes, just because there's always a lot of fallout. So in terms of longevity for your makeup, it's going to make your face makeup last longer because it's going on last. So I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in Fair 1. I'm just going to take this on my Chit All Over Shadow Ombres brush. Really like this brush. It's sort of like short and dense. It's really good for using this powder to set any concealer. And the reason I'm going over the foundation with powder in the first place is just so that when I go to use my shadows, I'm putting a powder over a powder and not over something liquid. This is the Morphe E22 brush. I'm going to go into my Tartelette in Bloom palette. It is by Tarte. I'm going to go into the shade Smarty Pants right here. Just a really good neutral crease color. You can use really anything in your crease. I like to use bronzer sometimes, like whatever bronzer I'm going to use for my face, I'll just put into my crease as well. Just applying this right on the outer edge of my eye into the crease. I'm using windshield wiper motions, going backwards and forwards. This is just to like deepen my crease. I find that I have very like short eyelids that don't have a lot of depth to them, so I want to sort of fake that. It's always good to have a very blended transition shade. It's always so important to blend. But I'm going to go in with one of my Kylie Jenner eyeshadow brushes. I'm going to go into the shade Sweetheart. It's a soft pink. I'm just going to put that pretty much in my crease, but just slightly underneath it. I'm going to start to deepen my crease, but I want to do this slowly, and I'm transitioning from my neutral shade into any pink / red tones I'm going to be using. I'm going to go back to my original brush and blend those two colors together. To deepen up the crease even more, I'm going to go into the color Rebel. This is sort of like terracotta red color. So I'm going to go right under my crease, only on the outer like 2/3 of my eye. I'm not really blending it all the way to the inside. I want that darkness to stay towards the outer edge of my eye, and I'm even going to pack that on to just the outer V. And like I said, there's no such thing as too much blending, so I'm going to blend all of that in again. You can even add more of that first transition color we used onto your brush if you find anything gets too harsh or dark. So I'm going to go in to my Charlotte Tilbury Quad palette. This is the Dolce Vita palette. I'm going to go into the Enhance shade, which is this red color right here. I'm going to take that onto another Kylie brush that I have. I actually really like her brushes. They're super soft. So I'm just going to pack that on top on my outer corner where I already put the color from the Tarte palette, but this is just going to darken it a bit. Once you're happy with that and it's all blended out, I can now go into the pop shade of the palette. Just putting it on with my finger, I find I get the best payoff with these colors if I use my finger, and it's sort of just like a layering motion. So I'm just putting this on my inner corner, working my way towards the outer corner where I'm going to fade it out in the center. And I keep applying more product to my finger and just adding until I have the amount of sparkle that I'm looking for. As you can see, it built up pretty quickly. How stunning is that sparkle? I'm obsessed with it. So again, blending just to soften any edges. So now I'm going to go into my Kat Von D tattoo liner. This is in color Trooper. So I'm going to start from the outer corner. Just draw a line towards the edge of my brow. I find it easier to start on the outside and then do the inside and sort of combine the two. I'd say that looks pretty even. Easy part. I'm going to take my Neutrogena all-in-one makeup remover towel. It's the best things ever. I use these every single night to take off the makeup before I wash my face, just to make sure it's all off. So I'm going to wipe under my eye, get rid of any fallout. And if you screw up your wing, which often does happen, this would be an ideal time to clean it up. It's kind of nice. It's like a safety tool just in case it's not perfect. It gives you the chance to touch up anything. Using my L'Oreal Telescopic mascara in Blackest Black. This is like my go-to die-hard mascara. There's nothing else I'll use. I just like love the wand applicator. I know a lot of people are frustrated with it when they first use it, but I'm telling you, it is worth giving it a shot. So now that I've applied my mascara to my top lashes, I am going to put on some falsies. I'm using individual lashes. I don't always use individual lashes on myself. I like to on clients only because I find that they're way more natural looking. So I'm using the Ardell Not Free Naturals in short. And then I think maybe, depending on how it looks, I might add in some mediums later on. I just find the mediums too long for my eyelashes. Put some glue at the end of it. I'm using the Duo Glue in brown. So I'm going to go in with tweezers. Stop about halfway through my eye. Do the exact same thing on my other eye. Okay, so now that I've used about the same amount of lashes on both sides, I'm going to go into the medium length Ardell Duralash Knotted Flares. Probably going to use about 2 lashes on each side, just because I'm really only putting these on my outer corner. And I'm just layering this. If you're happy with your lashes and the density of them, you can stop. You can keep adding. It's kind of the beauty of individuals. Also, if you're going for a really long night out, they are 10 times more comfortable than a strip. Okay, so I just zoomed out a bit, so I'm going to start my face. I'm going to prep my skin with the Marc Jacobs Invisible Undercover. Kind of smells like coconut. It's really nice. It's super hydrating if you have dry skin. I get really dry, especially if the weather changes or in the winter. And for any of you that live in Toronto, you know that the weather has been so crazy. I'm going to go in with my Luminous Silk Foundation. It's by Armani. It is my favorite foundation. It's like so lightweight, such a nice finish. I always feel like dewy and fresh, but it is unfortunately a shade too light for me right now. So I'm going to mix in my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation in medium 5. I'm also going to add in the BECCA Backlight Primer. I find that when I add this to my foundation, it just sort of gives my face such a beautiful glow, and it sort of thins out the foundation so that it's not as thick on my skin. And all these foundations are pretty buildable, so I like to just put a really light coat over my whole face and then sort of add to whatever areas I need to add to that I want more coverage on. And of course, any like spots, I'll go in and cover with concealer. Always wet your beauty blender. It will eat up all your products. And I'm going from sort of my chin, working my way upwards, but it's always so important to blend it into your neck. I feel like when I first started doing makeup like years ago, I always had a line in between my chin and my neck. As you can see, it's a pretty sheer coat of foundation. I don't like when my face makeup's so heavy. Just don't like how it feels. I don't like how it looks. Not for me. I am going in with my Charlotte Tilbury Retoucher in shade Too Fair for my concealer. I love this concealer. It is, especially for summertime. I know I'm kind of in fall time now. It is so lightweight. I can wear it on days where I'm wearing no foundation, and it just like blends so nicely into my skin. And I especially love using this on my older clients because it doesn't settle into their wrinkles as much as a heavy creamy one would use. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely like my more heavyweight concealers. Put that under my eyes and I'm blending it in. I'm lightly just blending all of this in. The idea of this is just to highlight any areas I want to come out, and then I'm going to contour any areas I want to add what would be a natural shadow. I recently just picked up these two things from Charlotte Tilbury. I know so much Charlotte Tilbury, but her stuff is kind of awesome. These are the Hollywood Contour Wand and Beauty Light Wand sticks. I'm going to show you. Looks like this on the end. Kind of like a sponge bulb. The only thing I don't love about it is that there's always product, which is such a waste of product. I am putting that right into the hollow of my cheek, starting from my ear, working my way towards what would be the corner of my mouth, but not going all the way there. At the tip of my nose, I'm going to do a little contour down the side of my nose. And then around the perimeter of my face and my forehead. And a little on my jaw. I find this product dries pretty quickly, so I like to get it on and blend it all in pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna blend this starting at the outer corner. I'm sort of pushing the product up and towards my outer corner and then blending it out. A lot of people will do this to create the illusion of a shorter forehead. I just like it because it sort of warms up my face. after all the concealer and the foundation, and I'm so pale. Tip of my nose, and obviously down the sides of my nose. You never want it to look like a stripe down the side of your nose. It should always look natural. It's really supposed to mimic something that is natural, so just remember that. Okay, so now that my contour is all rubbed in, I am going to use the Beauty Light Wand. Again, it's the same applicator. This I find dries even faster than the cream contour color, so I'm gonna do this in baby steps. So first I'm applying it to the high points of my cheek. I like bringing it more towards the middle of my cheek as well. It's such a pretty shade. So I'm putting it above my brow here. And I'm doing it in a smaller spot. Kind of sometimes like to blend it in with my finger and then use a beauty blender to get it all in. I'm going to put it in the center of my nose. A lot of people like to put a stripe down the center of their nose. I don't love it. I sort of just fade it up with my finger from the point. Cupid's bow. This is to make the illusion of bigger lips. And just a little on my chin. So I'm done with all my creams. I am going to go back into my Flawless Airbrush Finish Charlotte Tilbury powder with the same brush I used earlier to put it on my eyes. And I'm going to go in and set everywhere that I put any concealer, just so I avoid creasing later on and throughout the day, because my under eye creases a lot. So I'm just putting this everywhere that I want to slightly mattify. So once you're done setting your concealer, I'm going to go ahead and set my contour. So I'm going to set my contour with a bronzer. I'm going to use my Tom Ford bronzing powder in Terra. I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury powder and sculpt brush. I think it took me like 2 years to start using this brush from when I bought it, because every time I use it, it definitely sheds on my face, but I love it. So I'm just patting it on, concentrating most of the product towards my ear and fading it in, just continuing in that hollow of my cheek to create the illusion of a deeper cheekbone. If you can't find it, suck in, and it's like right here. It's right there. I'm just going to go around the perimeter of my face and bronze that up. Tip of my nose. I like a dark tip of my nose. Yeah, but with whatever's left on this brush, I'm not adding any more. I'm just going to do a light coat on my jaw. I'm going to go back into the bronzer on a smaller brush. And I'm going to contour the sides of my nose. I know you can't tell how lightly I'm pressing on camera, but I am telling you, the brush is like hardly touching my nose, and I'm really making sure there's very little product on my nose, because I want this to look as natural as possible. Everyone keeps calling it like snatched, like they snatched my nose. I don't know what that means. Like, I guess they just snatched my nose. This is Gosh. It is called the Giant Sun Powder in 001. You get this at Shoppers Drug Mart. I'm pretty sure it's a UK brand though. So I'm just lightly dusting this on this Real Techniques brush. It's a duo fiber face brush. Go tongue twister. And I'm very lightly just dusting this on my cheeks, my nose, kind of, I guess, everywhere. It just really gives your skin such a luminous glow. So now onto blush. I am going to use another Charlotte Tilbury product. This is the Cheek to Cheek Swish and Pop Blusher in First Love. So I'm just gonna smile a bit and put this on the apple of my cheek. That's where I'm gonna focus most of the color, and I'm just gonna fade it out. A classic. It's just a classic. It's the Mary Luminizer by the BALM, which is such an amazing highlight shade. I can't. Just love it. I kind of forgot about it. Sitting in my drawer for so long, and I've just recently rediscovered it, and I'm like, how did I forget about this? So I'm using it on another Kylie brush. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a shadow brush. I just really like it for highlighting because it can really be precise about where I'm putting it. Center T-zone. So nice. I hope this is picking up on camera. I'm going to do under my brow, just sort of in the center. I don't like bringing it out too much. A little bit on the tip of my nose, about a cupid's bow. A tiny bit on my chin. And again, I'm just going to blend that in my finger. I'm going to take a really smaller brush and apply that, sort of blending it into the shadow and onto my bottom lash. I go back in to my Charlotte Tilbury quad. I'm going to take that enhanced shade again, and I'm going to put this close to my lash line as possible. I am using an ANASTASIA Beverly Hills brush, I believe, that came with the Makeup by Mario palette. A similar brush by Urban Decay. It is the 88M4MF brush. I'm going to go into my Tom Ford bronzer just to blend that out so that there's absolutely no harsh line in my under eyeshadow. I'm going to take my MAC eyeliner color in Nothing On. It's a nude color. I don't want to use anything white or something too harsh. Like I said, I'm trying to make it look as soft as possible. This just sort of opens up your eyes. I'm going to go back in with my mascara, and I'm going to do a coat on my bottom lashes. Okay, so my eyes are complete. I'm going to use my MAC lip liner in shade Red with 2 Ds. This is the closest thing I have to the color I'm using. It's a pretty good corally red color. Applying red is tough. You really have to be patient. Oh! So I just realized my camera wasn't filming me put on my lipstick, but I finished lining my lips, and I went on this whole tangent how obsessed I am with DESI Perkins, and how I was super excited for this Dose of Colors collaboration with her and KATY, and this is the lipstick, and so on and so forth. This is color Hot Fire, and it is such a gorgeous orange corally red color. It is so nice, especially for the end of summer, beginning of fall. I love this color, and as I was putting it on, I was saying that it is so easy to use. It also isn't splotchy like a lot of liquid lipsticks. It just goes on so evenly and so smoothly. Pretty into it. So now that my face is complete, I am going to set everything. It is so important to set your makeup. It not only just like blends everything into your face, because the liquid just sort of sets all the powder that's on your face, but it really does hold it. So I'm going to use the Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray. It has the best mister in the whole world. Like, it is so relaxing. I think I could do this for ever. Okay, so this is the final look. I am kind of obsessed with it. It is so pretty. So I hope you guys try out this look. If you do, please tag me in any pictures. I am at flawless, FL.AW.LESS on Instagram. I would love to see you recreate it. And please, 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 please subscribe below. There will be so many more videos to come and I can't wait. Thank you.